I don't consider owning a rental a passive. When you own a long-term rental property, you have the power as the property. AirBNB has been better to me recently than VRBO has.
That's something I want to get into more, that distinction between, you said running a business versus I own a rental property.
Yeah.
And where does that transition happen? Because I think I would agree with you. I think that right on that borderline is a short-term rental. That's when it starts to transition from, this is a totally passive rental property. If I cash flow on it, amazing, to I'm running a full-fledged business, but that's also where the upside comes in for actually producing that monthly revenue. Yeah, no,
it's a tough distinction, and this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion sitting here with property managers, but even when you have a property manager, I don't consider owning a rental a passive business or a passive income in any way, shape, or form. And again, we can talk about my history with property managers, not you guys, not intrigue. You guys are awesome at what you do. But yeah, I think once you transition from essentially a situation where when you own a long-term rental property, you have the power as the property manager, as the owner of that property. Somebody, you agree to a lease, they don't perform, you get to take them to court and get them out of the home. Very different when you transition into a short-term rental where you're in a hospitality, you're in a service-based industry in that scenario. Same thing on a wedding venue, same thing with a construction company. Like, you are serving a customer and your outcome is based on how they perceive your service. And I think that's where you get, significantly greater upside, like you were bringing up, but it is a ton more work.
That's also where you eliminate a lot of the people that might be qualified to own a long-term rental are not qualified to run a short-term rental.
No, definitely not. It's funny. I helped a couple people with their short-term rentals from the construction side. We obviously have a maintenance department, and I can quickly tell the ones who I'm like, oh, you are not going to be running a short-term rental here in another year. You're going to have a 2-star rating and be wildly unhappy with the performance that you're getting. It's not, the number of people, and I'm sure you guys see this all the time on your side, the number of people that, assume, hey, I just toss a couple of pieces of furniture in there and I put up a listing on Airbnb and I'm going to do so much better than I would on the long-term side. That's just not the way it works.
Yeah.
On the STR side, I'm curious to hear if it's platform dependent. Like, is Airbnb more favorable to the temporary tenant or to the owner, or is VRBO balanced differently?
They're definitely different. And I'm by no means an expert at these platforms. Like, I run a couple of short-term rentals myself, but there are people who know 1,000 times more than I will ever know. My quick and dirty experience is that when you are on the long-term rental side, you get to kind of be, what I affectionately call an ass kicker. Like, somebody doesn't perform, you kick them in the butt. When you're on the short-term rental side, you transition more to that ass kisser type of situation where the number of times a guest is like last minute, like, it's noon, they're supposed to check in at 3, like, hey, can we check in early now? I'm at the front door. It's like, no, like, we've got cleaners still in the house. Is like almost a weekly occurrence.
I just did that on Friday.
Yeah, I bet. And in those scenarios, we have to be like, no, we can't let you in, but like, here's $50, go have a drink on us. It very much switches from like, you're not performing to you're making an ask I can't make happen. Like, now I'm going to go above and beyond. Yeah. And so I cannot remember your question, but I definitely
which platforms favor which side, the owner of the property versus.
So all of them tend to favor the guest over the owner of the property, without a doubt. With that in mind, I would actually say Airbnb has been better to me recently than VRBO has. When we've had a couple issues recently with parties in houses, and there's certain trends we're starting to pick up on that I think are going to allow us to block that in the future. But the Airbnb has generally had our backs in those situations. we had one where somebody did about $10,000 worth of damage to our house on VRBO, and VRBO basically just told us, hey, you should call the cops. And we're like, how about you charge the customer? And they're like, you know what, this sounds like a you problem. Make an insurance claim. And so we actually pulled all of our stuff off of VRBO when that happened. When they allowed a bad guest on their platform, they essentially validated that guest and then wouldn't back up. That scenario.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because all of these platforms, you already mentioned the big two, like they have an interesting existential problem. Like, and a lot of them do favor guests because, the driver of value in any industry, in any business is eyeballs.
Demand.
Yeah. So they know if they lose the hearts of the guests, then they lose the whole market. So that's why that's their focus. But they also know that if they lose the hearts of the owners, they lose their supply. And so it's like it's a weird tension.
It's definitely a weird tension. And I think that there are a couple of things at play there. Fundamentally, if you're the one paying the money though, like you have the power. And so, so they always have, like, as long as they have the money, they're going to find houses. Like people are always going to be looking for a way to make income. So, like, I actually think that that's less of a dynamic for them than the other side.
Meaning they're always going to stay on the guests side because they can't lose that demand because there'll always be owners to backfill.
Yes, 100%. As long as they've got dollars to hand out, there will be people that are willing to give up their homes. I could be wrong, but that's my perspective there. On the guest side, we've actually seen a huge shift over the last several years. During COVID, nobody wanted to be next to each other. Everybody wanted their space. And that's when Airbnb and VRBO really, really took off. We're seeing people go back to hotels now. Cleaning fees have gotten out of hand with a lot of these owners. Like they're not actually operating effective businesses. And let's be honest about it. Hotels are a good experience. If what you're looking for is a clean room, economies of scale, getting some amenities, like it's a great way of having, incredible amenities for that are split across multiple guests at an affordable price where, I might have one pool table in one Airbnb. They can have, one pool table for 10 rooms or, again, there are huge advantages there on the hotel side. And so a lot of guests are starting to go back that direction. So all these, small, condos and stuff like that are Airbnbs, they're going to get screwed over. You have to find something unique. Be the Taylor Swift house that like no Airbnb or no hotel is going to have the Taylor Swift room. Go have the 4-bedroom where you can have the entire family come stay there. Like that's your opportunity, not just being an affordable option.
Yeah. This is a good segue into, I was just going to say that I don't love hearing you say this. I don't disagree with you, but the shift back to hotels, because that's something I always feel personally. Like if it's just me or if it's my wife and I and our kid and we're traveling somewhere, like I'm never booking a short-term rental unless it's just a crazy market where there's really just no hotel options. Like hotels are great. Yeah, you check in, you're up on a secure floor. It's just very easy. It's very seamless. They have that economy of scale to allow for that. But I do completely agree with you that, I mean, just like in any business, you have to find out like what is our competitive advantage and our value proposition.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do short-term rental, I have to do things that hotels cannot do. I have to be able to offer an exceptional experience or offer that utility that a hotel can't.
Yeah.
So the reason I say it's like, oh no, is there a shift happening back to hotels? I actually, we just bought a short-term rental in downtown Indianapolis.
But I'm betting it's not a 1-bedroom, 1-bath.
It is not.
So it's going to be kind of an opportunity for people to host, a bigger party. Like I don't mean like to throw a party, but like have a bigger group there that are there with you guys.
Yeah. It is not a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. It is actually a single family home with a carriage house behind it. And our strategy with it is the front house is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. The back carriage house is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and actually has a rooftop deck that like overlooks the city of Indianapolis. It's in Fletcher Place. So we fell in love ourselves with the location because it's like walkable to Pacers games and Colts games. And the fact that the property as a whole is 5 bedrooms, 2 baths between these 2 units.
Yeah.
Our strategy is to actually create 3 listings.
Yeah, super listing.
Yeah.
You've got one, front, back, and then everything.
And then everything. Yeah. So big families could book the whole thing, or we can also get those kind of those smaller groups that still want more than, a studio in a hotel.
Yeah.
Like they want to have that, shared spaces. So
Dude, it's going to crush. I've got one down in Bates Hendricks. Now it's a 2.5, I want to say. And that thing just crushes. Colts games, really anything downtown. It pulls.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. Because we are spending so much money. That's what I found like the biggest, because I've owned long-term rentals. And so this whole conversation is just like enriching to me, because I'm just sitting here going through this transition of, I mean, obviously I've been running a business with property management and real estate, but from just a property investor standpoint, I've always done long-term. And now I'm going into this transition of really trying to understand
dabbling
Airbnb and short-term rental and doing this. And it's just trying to think through all of those little things. And luckily, I mean, my wife, Lindsay, this is her baby. So she is like taking care of all the little things with it. I'm like free labor, mostly.
You're a strong back and a pretty face, and she's the real hard worker.
Yeah, exactly. She's the mastermind on it. But just like every night, it's like I come home and she's talking about like a new thing. She's like, oh, they're saying that you actually want to get these kind of towels now because it just like all the nuance that goes into.
Oh yeah, you're trying to build an experience.
Yeah.
I think you're doing it at the right time too, because Indianapolis seems to be heating up between the Colts and the Fever and the Pacers and the races, and so I think you're getting in at the right time too.
You can check out our full library of episodes wherever you get your podcasts.